Thank you for joining us on Worldwide Slot Car Chat on Zoom, number 140. Today we are going to give away the prizes, and I don't know, maybe not as many people wanted tools as normally want cars, but there was less total entries to win. Combining all three prizes, there was less of entries than we normally have for giving away a car. So I guess people's priorities are car, but whatevs. There's some guys with a very good chance of getting a really nice tool.
Well, that will get to your point. The fewer the entries, the better the odds.
Exactly, the better the odds. I think the most. Let me look at my names. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That was my philosophy of dating.
It's a numbers game, but yeah. So one prize only has 6, one only has 5, and another only has 3. So if you entered for any of those prizes, much better chance than a normal car giveaway situation.
On the other hand, if you don't get it, you're a real loser.
I wonder if that's because most of us in the hobby already have some of these tools, even if they're not as good. We're still like, I already got a Dremel or something. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, but surprisingly, the Proxxon, the rotary tool was the one with the most entries.
I actually wanted to.
And then the test bench, and then the soldering iron.
Everybody was following. Everyone was following
the year.
It could be the time of year. Maybe everybody just got their favorite tool, or they're off being holidays and not watching. The video got about as much views as normal.
Oh, okay.
So it's not, it's not a viewership issue. It's just, I guess. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're still going to give this stuff away, and somebody's going to win one of each of those things, or 3 people are going to win one of each of those things. Anywho, let's talk about slot cars. As we normally start off with show and tell, now is the time to raise your virtual hand to get in line for show and tell, and we'll make sure to call on you. Jeremy's got his hand up first. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Hey, I just wanted to show off, in case other people don't know, I got the Greg Gaub double trigger 3D printed finally. So that was my show and tell. I put it on both of my controllers, and I can finally use these again, because I just, for some reason, I could never use the little single finger thing, but now perfectly fine.
So you're liking it?
I like it so far. I'll let you know how it goes on the track. This is my backup controller.
Yeah.
So I'll let you know how it goes.
Cool beans. Thank you for sharing that. And you printed yours in resin, right?
Yeah, I did mine in resin. Everything fit. Now, when I put it together on the board, there was a little slop in there. I don't know if that was just part of the design. So I put a spacer in there, and it's fine.
Cool. Easy fix.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Resin, easy peasy.
Where did the spacer need to get put?
You know how the brass coupler goes through, and then the little silver metal piece comes in through there, and you screw down that tight so you still can trigger. That slop felt it wobbled the stick.
Okay.
So I just put a spacer in between that, and then when I cinched it down, I could adjust it to where I felt it was a little more comfortable. But otherwise, it tilted a little too much. Maybe that's just a resin, like there's more tolerance maybe, but either way, one spacer, and it worked perfectly.
Yeah,
or a bit of shrinkage when you print it.
The resin.
It's cold out. Yeah, maybe.
All right, thank you for sharing that one, Jeremy. And Paul had his hand up. Go ahead, Paul.
Right, here we go. This is the Ferrari that I done.
He's more yellow.
Nice.
I'm just waiting for the decals to come.
Just waiting for the yellow to come, right?
Yeah.
Oh, don't you start, sir, just because you're playing tonight.
Just because you couldn't win yesterday.
Sorry?
Is it your paintwork?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, that was the cinnamon. Is it cinnamon red one they done? And that's the Mustang chassis. So
lovely.
So that's all ready to go. And I've done the radical.
Ah, that's
Very nice.
Well, you got a lot done in a week, man.
I've got 7 cars built.
Whoa.
Oh.
You're like me.
That's the radical, right?
Yeah, that's the radical.
ScaleAuto Redical. Okay.
Yeah, that's got the different chassis on it. The one I was on about last week.
Nice.
Very nice.
Is that the 3D printed chassis you were talking about?
No, that's the original from ScaleAuto.
The original. Okay. It just looks a little different than mine.
Yeah, yours was in it. Is yours an inline one, or is it
Yeah.
a cat one?
Yeah, mine was the inline.
Yeah, that's the original. That is the original chassis that come with the first issue of cars. ScaleAuto. Then, because of Slotted brought the 6-point motor pod out, they thought, "Oh, we can do that." So they done that, but it doesn't work on the earlier cars because, like I said, where the vent is on the side there, I don't know if you can see it, that's blanked off. That one isn't. You've got on the first car, you have a lump of plastic sticking in, which then hits these two screws.
Question: have Ninco done this body before?
No,
Sorry?
Ninco did the Acura,
Okay,
and this
so
is the
that
Redical.
was the car I raced in Silverstone, I think.
No, that's the ScaleAuto Redical.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So just got to wait for the cockpit to do now, but that's going to be tested on Friday night. Our club night's open Friday, so I can test both of those cars. That's it.
All right. Did you want to show anything else off?
Oh, yes. Right. I'll mute myself and I'll come back.
Okay. All right, Mr. Kit, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Mine is a short one. I'm trying to catch up on my casting. So sometimes figures don't turn out, but so I take the ones that don't turn out and have a wee bit of fun with them. I'm sure everyone's familiar with this lovely gentleman.
Yep.
I don't know if he's an MRC figure or a Scalextrics pit guy. And I think everyone has one on their track.
He's a Shakespearean actor.
What's that? Sorry?
He's a Shakespearean actor.
Yeah, no kidding, right? With the mustache and yeah, exactly. Very prim and proper, and yeah, very, very neat. So I thought I'd take off his head and just make him look a little different by putting a different head on it. So at least it's a bit of a different person.
Off with his head.
Exactly. Yes. Very, very, very apropos for a British company. And then everyone has, of course, the cola drinking driver from Monogram. So I thought to do something a little different. Sort of painted him up, but I removed his head and his arm because I love the way he's holding his helmet. And then took a head from Immense Miniatures, and I thought I'd use John Surtees, and then built another arm and also cast proper tinted bottles for him. So that's as far as I got with this chap. Another sort of oh, thank you. Another sort of potential for this kind of swapping and stuff is this guy who's I think like you used to get him with a Tester's Lotus 30, but it's a really nice figure. But again, you can really do something neat with this. Maybe put someone else's head on it and so forth. But yeah, so that's just the wee bit of figure fun that I thought I'd show off.
Good stuff.
Looking good.
Very cool.
Those are going to go into your inventory of hundreds of figures that you can cast.
But yeah, and that's the problem, right? As you start Frankensteining these things, people go, "Oh, can I have one?" It's like, okay, so then you end up making a mold of it, and away you go, and yeah, and then you fall farther and farther behind.
Did anyone else have any comments or questions for John? I thought I heard somebody. All right, I guess we're moving on. Mr. Steve Zodiac. What's up with the name?
I can't manage to change it. I need to log off, I think, to be able to change it.
Oh, I can
so
change it for
it's
you.
Leo here.
I can change it.
But hopefully you know that. Right, I've got what I would refer to as a reveal. So I'm going to start off with a quick YouTube video. It's only about a minute long, so don't worry. And hopefully everyone will be able to see that. So hopefully I can share that, and then I'll show the item after the video. Where are we? Here we are. And oh no, that's not that one. Cancel that. Where is it? That one?
I get you.
No. Oh dear, why is screen sharing so difficult?
I just saw the teaser. I think I know what it is.
Show us the one with the couple in the backyard again. No.
Right, can you see that?
Wait, see, revealing a slant nose rounded fender Porsche 935 in 1/32 scale.
Right, sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gotta love ads.
terrific. Terrific.
Maybe it's skippable. Yeah, there you go. Skip it.
Why are you getting that ad, Leo? That's weird.
And soda ad. My goodness.
Oh dear. YouTube doing its best here. Why can't I skip this one?
Yeah. Somebody's paying for.
Sorry, folks.
That's okay.
I'll
get a little ad credit for this one.
I was gonna say that looks like a whole video, not an ad.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Cancel.
I'll cancel your share. Do you want to post the link to the video in the chat and then I can bring it up?
Yeah, if you cancel, can you cancel that, please?
I already
Gary,
did.
You were just doing some sand casting. That's all.
You're no longer
Oh.
sharing. So while you put the link
Go
in the
back.
chat, I'm gonna go ahead and let Paul do his show and tell. You ready,
Okay.
Paul? Go ahead. He was ready, not ready. There you go.
All right. I got a lovely little parcel come through from the post because I was told not to look at the videos. My granddad has already nicked one of these.
Oh yeah.
So, you know the order I put in with you, Greg?
Yeah.
Can you do 2 with Maggie on?
Sure.
Please?
That might kick
That
it.
way I might get the other one back.
The problem is that might kick us over the 8-ounce cutoff, and shipping goes
All right.
way up after
All
that.
right. Well, let me know.
Okay.
Right. I put it in the middle.
Nice. In a place of honor.
Yeah, it is, and it's lined up with all the others.
Yep.
I know it doesn't look it, but it is. And that's on my special box. I showed this before, haven't I?
You showed the box, yeah.
Nice.
Of course. Yeah.
All ready to go on Friday.
Fancy.
So that's that one.
What did you use to stick it onto the case? Nice.
And this is a special because it's on my wooden box in the middle.
What did you use to
Nice.
attach them to the cases?
I used the double-sided tape,
Okay.
and it's adhered really well.
Yeah.
But I thank you so much for them, mate. They are brilliant. I've got 2 more left, and I'm thinking I'm going to keep them somewhere special to go on something really special.
So hopefully those don't fall off or get knocked off or broken, but then you've got
No.
spares. Yeah.
Yeah, but as I say, she robbed this off me.
Yeah.
So she
It's
see
probably
that, she
just
went,
right for her hand, right? It's a perfect.
yeah.
controller
She
size.
goes, "That's mine, Granddad." I said, "No, it's got my name on it." She goes, "No, I'm
Paul,
having
is that a toy or is that I didn't see it.
It's
no,
a
it's what
keychain.
Greg printed.
Oh, a
It's a little-
keychain. Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
Okay. That's
A
cool.
small one.
it's lush. Absolutely, I love the way it goes yellow, red, then blue on it. Even on the actual Sunoco badges, the way you printed it is absolutely amazing.
Well, I'm glad that you're enjoying them.
I love them, mate. I love them. Thank
We
you.
should
very,
get him
very,
to
very
make us
much.
some worldwide slot car chat ones for all the members.
Somebody
here.
want to do the logo? I'm not a logo designer, so if somebody do a logo for us, and I'll print
Give it
them.
to Garth and let him play around with it.
There you go, Garth. Make us a logo that doesn't look anything like the one you made for Mike.
WWS.
I'm working on one myself for you, for us.
Okay, cool. There's a competition. Whoever makes the winning logo design gets a free print of the logo.
How's about doing a Sunoco one?
Sunoco style, yeah. Okay, so I'm bringing up the video. Hold on a sec here. And now let me share it. And then you can talk over it.
No. Hey.
Oh, that's not even, that's weird.
Hope this works.
Well, Zoom isn't giving me application options, just screen. So you're going to see my tabs and stuff too. But, we'll go large.
Right, here we go.
Yep.
Hopefully this means something to people.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
This is a worldwide exclusive.
That looks so good.
This
That
is the
looks
rough
really-
build. This is the rough build. The pros will come along later, I'm sure.
Oh, that looks really good.
Awesome video. Yeah, awesome.
The essential bits, the slant nose and the rounded rear fenders.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like me using the American English there?
And the big wing.
Well, let's just call them wings. That's what they are.
He's
okay?
just winging it.
And here it is. Greg, stop sharing. You should be able to see.
Working on it. Working on it. All right. There we go.
Right.
Beauty.
Yeah. So this is the rough build. It's using a PCS plastic chassis. Or nothing fancy. I was going to make a brass chassis, but I couldn't find a soldering iron in the UK, so that failed. Yeah, it's a start. The decals didn't fit very well, and they're sort of a bit wrinkly down here. So, in fact, I'm showing you the worst side, of course. So there we are. The driver, I don't know if you can see the driver, but the driver's in the appropriate gob racing colours.
Blue and yellow driver. That's awesome.
Yep. So there we are. It's the world exclusive. I think this is probably the first one to surface, isn't it?
Yeah, you built it even before I did. Well done. So how did you find the kit going together? Okay, Leo, or?
Well, I'll discuss that with you offline.
Okay, no. That's what I need to know. Yeah, no, for sure. Like, listen,
yeah,
all feedback is great because if we can improve something, all the better.
Right. Obviously, my skill set is not in the Dennis Samson, Chris Walker class, so that didn't help. Yeah, there was one that I had to tweak, and so I'll tell you about that offline.
We haven't got Chris on the line today, have we? It's time to shame him into finishing that one.
Yeah, he's waiting on the decals from Iceman, and he's still been going through some stuff. So
okay.
I bug Iceman, once a month or so. At some point, we might just have to ask somebody else to work on them, but I'll give him some more time.
Okay.
As John mentioned, the vents above the front wheels are vents, proper vents. So that worked well. Oh dear, I've pulled the deck off the front, haven't I? Oh dear.
Oh no.
I'll have to sort that out.
Oh, that's racing damage. It's racing damage.
Needs a layer of clear over it.
Yeah.
Been using
the lenses covering the spotlights fitted perfectly. That was wonderful, wonderful. I thought that would be going to be a nightmare, but it was okay. So yes, is it the right way around for you guys, or for?
Yeah, no, we see it properly. You see the mirror image.
Right. Okay. So the decaling worked out fairly well from the cheap eBay decals. Of course, they don't quite fit at the back, but so I did that to try and improve it. Actually, one bad thing with the decals, I don't know if you can see that very well. Oh, I've lost the taillight decal blast. The taillight decals have got the red and the orange the wrong way around. That's a bit mad. But yeah, I presume the IndyCal decals that Chris was talking about will be better.
Yeah.
So that's the car. The van, I presume you saw the van in the background. Again.
Oh, nice.
Don't tell you missed it in the background. It took me ages to get
Okay, you don't want me to cast that, do you?
Tempting, because these vans are very difficult to find.
I know, yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Tempting.
I love it.
So that's what I've been trying to do. I'm trying to get it finished before the end of the year, but slightly slipped there. End of the year is always a good target to try and hit. Clear the decks.
Yep.
So that's all for me.
All right.
Well,
thank
you're
you
you're
so
clearly
much.
in first place because yeah, you're the first one to complete one of those. That's awesome.
Very cool. Thank you very much for showing that. All right, Dennis, it's your turn.
Yep. Okay. So I've been painting again. This is the new Bentley from Racer Sideways.
Mhm.
White kit that came out.
I think I might be doing Geo next.
Say again?
I think we might be seeing Geo next.
Oh yeah.
Nice color combination.
Yeah. By now, I think everybody knows my color combination.
Yeah.
I'm as bad as Greg and Paul with the color combination. I just I found out a long time ago that pink is a very fast color.
Yeah.
So that's why I use it.
Has at least 10 horsepower.
Yeah, underneath the same as pretty much all of the Racer Sideways Group GT3 cars. No changes there. Good tires, nice mechanicals all around. There is a slight change on some of the newer ones up front here, where there's a single screw holding the pod. There are also those two screws on the side, and so you can take a single screw out there and put two screws on the side and use a 4-point mount or a 6-point mount using the ones out here on the wings, which I don't care for, but I thought that was something new, that they've changed the front end of the motor mount a little.
Did they do that because there was a little sideways slippage in their cars?
I don't think so. I don't really know. None of us really ever get much chance to find out the whys behind any of these designs. Unless you get a chance to talk to the designer.
I think the reason that they offer the 4-screw multipod installation mechanism is so that when you remove that single central one at the front there's more room to fit a digital chip of your choice.
Yeah, possible. Or if you wanted to take this out and use a slotted pod for some reason. But none of the slotted pods have a center point at the front.
Sorry, people. What are we talking about? Those are two anchor point on the chassis?
Yeah, at the front instead of the single point.
Yeah, but those have been. Yeah, no, but the two one have been there since the beginning. I mean, I remember even from the Lamborghini that came out.
Oh,
they
right.
always
Sorry, my mistake. I just didn't remember that.
So
I will build a few of those.
The Capri's got the same one, Dennis.
Yeah, nice car though. I haven't tried it yet. It's been raining here, so I can't open my track. But it looks like it should run as well as any of the others that I have.
So you guys don't have rain tires there?
It's not the car that I worry about; it's the track, because it's wood.
I'm just kidding. I know.
Dennis, I need some snow tires then.
Yeah.
With the nails.
Yeah, or ice tires. Yeah. Anyway, so that's me for today.
Beautiful job as always.
Thank you.
And Gio, did you want to show yours? Is that why you got your hand up?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah,
Gio.
but mine is a bit more the full process in case. I mean,
go for it.
As usual.
There we go.
Okay, so these are white kits basically as they come. My idea was to build I have a decals for the car that I ran Spa in 2019 and then 107.
Bentley?
Yeah. So this is the Conti M Cup Mark II. So this is the rough body weight without anything inside. So 13.79. It's quite a lot for a GT3 car.
And so with then paint and everything done. What?
Yeah. So you will see the full process. You will see the full process. So, so the full car basically will be around 18.24.
Okay.
And I think that this was, let me check.
That's with
Yeah, so this is, yeah, so with everything, I mean, try to put everything inside. So which basically was a bit on the heavy side. So I decided to kind of reduce the weight. So I took the Dremel to the body inside. So which I usually don't do for sideways cars. I normally do for ScaleAuto or Carrera, but this was too much on the heavy side. So the target weight with all the lights and stuff that I had in mind was around 21 grams. And that's the standard basically for a disc body.
Oh, that's good.
So, yeah. So this was, so again, this is the weight from the original body. So after I went with the Dremel and scalpel, I come down to 12 grams. So I lost almost 1.5 gram. This is the rear wing, which is a big beast. Also kind of got, I reduced some of the weight. So going down to almost 1 gram. So a lot of work. I mean, it seems like it's not a big deal, but if you put everything together, especially when I didn't mind to put quite a lot of LEDs in the car. So I was trying to save weight as much as I could. So one of the things that really pissed me off about Sideways is that they are starting to, they are producing a lot of white kits or new cars, but the level of details is kind of lacking. So this, for instance, is a body of an M6, and there is the kind of a safety exit for the driver, so all nice set there. But on the new bodies, they are kind of skipping these kind of details. So what I did was I copied the one from the M6 on a piece of tape, and then I moved on onto the Bentley, and then I kind of went over with the scalpel, to kind of make the shape on it. And these are kind of small things, but yeah, there are a couple of vents missing, other stuff. So I don't know. I mean, I think that they could do a better job, especially when you see they kind of Group 5 cars.
Well, Gino,
Anyway.
that's the kind of thing that makes a car just so much better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these are the small details that really makes the car more prototypical. When you see a picture of the car, that up close, it looks a real thing. I mean, sometimes you have to think like it's the real car, or it's a spot.
Are you using original mirrors on the car?
The side mirrors, you mean?
No, all mirrors. Are you using the originals?
I don't know what you mean with the mirrors. Sorry.
I mean the windows. Are you using the originals from the kit?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I mean, they're pretty lightweight. I mean, and they already have the nice black border around it. So
can I show you a little tip what you can use if you have?
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I mean, I work with Tamar a lot. Yes, I know. I mean, yeah, I've built cars, or I get inspiration for building cars from Tamar. So I know some of the stuff, the tricks that that you can do, but they don't look as nice as the clear plastic, right? So there are things that you can do, and things that you want to also kind of preserve a bit of the beauty of the body. So another thing that is quite beautiful of the rear car is that they put LEDs behind the big grille, and with these cars the grille is a piece of plastic. And again, I hate all the people complaining that they put that manufacturer put these grills and details that they get broken. I mean, they should shut up. Anyway, so I had to do my own thing. So basically, I put a bit of I kind of use metal mesh and start building the front grille.
That alone makes a huge difference. That looks great.
Gio,
yeah, but it's been a messy job, man. I mean, okay, so you will see. I mean,
what's the
so
mesh?
who was? Say again.
What is the grade of the mesh?
I don't know, mate. I mean, I don't remember what I used. And actually, this is not even right. So I saw that it's not as big as it should be. So I went to order online some more. I
Do
actually
you know
bought from the UK.
if it's good enough to strain tea, it's perfect.
Not, yeah, I know. I've used some of that, but it's too big, that one. So I think this one, it's, I mean, the one that I found later on, it's better. Actually, if you see this one, again, I made a mistake. The grill of the real car had kind of, what's the diamonds kind of a pattern. Instead, this one has kind of square. So I had to kind of, yeah, I mean, so there is a bit more building involved in that. So while I was waiting for the mesh before, going and paint, so I started building the chassis. So this, I usually go for slotty pod. And for the mounts, the suspension mounts. So basically, I don't know, a while ago, there was Wayne that suggested to buy some titanium screws from AliExpress that are M2, I think. So I'm using this one as kind of part of the spring build or the suspension build instead of the standard slotted ones. Much nicer to put through the different bits, at least for the two side mount and the rear one. Okay, so the front one had just a big head brass. And chipping, I mean, so the motor actually very nice. So after I kind of run for more than half an hour, very low voltage, I managed to push 20K. So this is rated as a 17K. So quite a lot, or much more than what should be. At least, I mean, after, run for a while. And then my standard setup with the oxygen chip and, the rear is, the pinion is 12 with the standard crown from Sideways. Anyway, back to the build. So a bit more check. So now this is the right pattern, or the right, at least the one that I could find that resemble closely what the real car is. There is a small detail missing. So around the grille and the bonnet, basically, there is a kind of frame that, in the real car. So I had to build that one with a very fine styrene. I don't know if you see it in this picture. And then again, putting the middle bar in it. And then what I did was spray everything white. And then the car also has like appended the number on the grill, 107. So what I did, I used the decals that I had to create the 107, put on it, and then spray. But it didn't come out as good as I was expecting. I don't know. I mean, it's the edges are not that sharp. And plus, there were a bit of on the bonnet here, some marks from the the Dremel process. So I said, no, I mean, I have to do something about that. So remove the old grill, did some work on the upper thing. Of course, I did the work after painting the bloody thing. So which it's not the smartest things that you can do, and build another grill in order to do all the process again. These are the numbers. These are the mess that I made. And I transferred this time on a piece of masking tape, the numbers, and then moved on the actual thing. Repainted everything, resprayed. I mean, I was starting now getting really pissed off about the car, so a lot of swearing between different painting jobs and getting closer and closer. Still not 100% happy now. So this is the second pass, but now the 7 is a bit too far away from the 0, a bit below. I said, no, damn it. So try to spray it again. I did another bit of more mess. And while I was waiting for the weather to get a bit better in order to again spray, I started doing the decals job on the car. This almost, I think, done with the decals. Overall, I mean, the decals very, very good decals actually, but I made a mistake here. So this diagonal stripe, let's say, that goes from the rear vent to the front actually should be a bit lower. And while I was putting, I mean, I knew that should be like a bit lower in order to align with these kind of white stripe or white decal around the front arch. But while I was doing that, I was more concerned about try to fit it all along the side of the car, and I forgot completely that I should make a line with this other decal over here. And when I realized that, it was too late. Everything already dried up, and again, more frustration building up.
Who made the decals?
So these are, so I think originally they were done by Tamar, and then he sent the stuff to Fola, Float Fabric. So I bought them more than a year ago, actually. Anyway.
Oh, they are good.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, but yeah, super frustrated. So again, checking weight to see how things were going. So now I have also lightweight interior inside. So these, I think it's almost a complete car. It's now almost 90 grams.
20. Under 20,
again?
that's good. Under 20
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah, and everything now. Now there is also the interiors, right? I mean, although it's not the original interior, this is a mock-up that I have, but it's a Lexan one. So things are looking good. And then the work on putting on the LEDs into the for lights. So I don't think you can see here, but there is an LED inside the small element here. So these are front lights. So put already LEDs there and the cover on it. So the kit comes with these front lights and lens already closed up, already on top of them. So I had to kind of remove them, put LEDs, make a bit more space, put LEDs, and then cover them up. LEDs now in under the Pirelli one, there is an LED there in the fog light position, and the other side as well. Now LEDs also in all elements, front light elements. And now for the third time.
Or the lights from Fuller?
No. These I buy basically LEDs from AliExpress or eBay, and then I put them together myself.
Yeah.
And I do my own light kit as well.
Yeah.
So these are the third grill that I did, and this time I think was much better. At least I told myself that this is the last one to move on, idiot. And now looks pretty, I mean, decent for me. I mean, I think I can pass. There are still a bit of details that needs to be refined. So there was a bit of paint clogging up some of the holes. So I used some of these micro build drills that, I opened them up without scruffing too much the paint. And between this build, I had some white kit Revo slot that I'm building, but these are for another day. So started basically finishing everything off. So detailing the car, detailing the lenses, and I started putting LED inside the wires. So this is the most delicate process because you start putting LEDs in, then you have to have all the wires routed and make sure that you don't break any lights, checking double times that you are connecting everything right, because once everything is in, if you have to change the polarity of one of the wires because you didn't check, is a mess. So I don't know if you noticed, but on the side, when I was painting on the side of the car, I had left two square white parts, and the idea was to put LEDs behind the body in order to light up the numbers. So these are the LEDs that will go on the side. So now I think most of the LEDs are in, so the wires are still a mess. And then slowly you start to, routing them, putting them in, and this how it looks before everything goes in. So I think with all the amount of tape and glue that I used to keep the wires down, I think I could have saved a couple of grams. Anyway, so the cars now, start looking more and more coming up together. So these are some kind of test on the truck to see how it looks. So front, so this is the stuff that I was, so this is the stuff that I was, especially around the grill, I was trying to recreate this green effect with the lights behind. Although it's not prototypical, but as close as I can get. These on the side, the lights, and the rear looks So then I moved on the interior. So I do, as I said, my own vac form the interior. So this is the one that I took vac form from the original one, and I tried to paint. I mean, I think recreating the helmet from Gugnon. I think that was one of the driver from Bentley. Putting everything together. And then moving on the inserts. This time I think I did a better job with the trimming down the edges. They fit a bit better. Then last details, antennas that are not provided by Sideways. So I did my own with some very fine wire that I have. Disc and calipers inside. I think here maybe you can see a bit better. And then I added this small, in the rear car, there is like a transponder, I think, for on the rear wing.
A question, what do you use for clear coat?
So the clear coat that I use is Mr. Hobby, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is semi gloss.
Not high shine. Oh, Alpha. Was that the
yeah,
BRM?
yeah. That's gonna be another one. Another. So
Is
this
that
to
the
keep on.
BRM?
Yes. No, sorry, no, it's not BRM. It's Revoslot.
And Sport too, yeah. And NSU, I think.
Oh,
No,
132nd
both of them.
still, right?
Yeah. So both of them are escort. So two escorts and one.
Both are escort. Okay.
Yes, yeah. There is, yeah. I'm looking forward for the two. So now the body, everything got together. So 20.96, so almost just below the 21 marks that I was aiming for, which I'm pretty happy. And these are the shots. So these I think I finished yesterday morning, and then in the evening we had the race, and I raced it. So I think it goes pretty well.
Car. Very lovely car.
Thank you. So these small details like the opening, on the side. So this is a decal.
Yeah.
And it makes the car, I mean, come alive, I think. I don't know. I mean, that's maybe
There better be a concourse competition because you should win.
No, I don't think it's a winner. It's no, it's not a winner. Absolutely not.
This can be used for the endurance disco race?
Well, depends. I mean, so this one for sure will go in the in the Euro series. So the one that is around 1 hour or 1.5 hours each race. But and maybe also like the 6 hour in Suzuka could go, I think, because I think they race down there. But although the configuration, I mean, like the motor, the rear tires will change because I'm building this one for my local series here in my club, and we use different tires. So again, on the track.
A question to you. You only build modern cars?
No, you see that I'm building the Alpha. I mean, so it depends. I mean,
not the sport cars and cars from the 60s and so.
Well, it depends. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm so the Can-Am and those kind of series I'm not super attracted by, but okay. I can build them as well. I can build them actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Have you done that?
I did like couple of Thunder Slot Lola, if you consider those, some of those time, but yeah. And that was a while ago. I mean, the more you do, the more you get better at it. I mean, I'm not talent. I mean, this is something that anybody can do if you basically waste money and time into it. I mean, I've done, quite a lot of white kit now. But I still make stupid mistakes and not align the bloody stripe you see here.
Everybody do a stupid mistake. Always.
Just don't admit it.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, but inside, man, and it's kind of killing you.
Yeah, I go stupid when I see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, the car goes really well. I mean, so I tested it yesterday in the proper racing. I mean, with the guys that have over here, it's a lovely platform. I mean, although it's heavy,
it's so very good. That car.
It's very, very good.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's a pretty car.
Hey, Gio, have you Have you yet tried thinning the body shell behind the number and painting a black square around the outside on the inside of the body shell? What I discovered is that if I thin the body shell where I'm putting the LEDs behind the numbers and then paint black around the area that I've thinned, I can get just that nice square area to illuminate more than the rest of the body shell.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I could have also kind of traced the number and done that. I mean, like we did with the Porsche, but there is sometimes it's like insight is 2020. They say. I mean, one other thing that I missed the opportunity was to put LEDs in the number on the roof, which would have made it even more visible, and actually put 3 LEDs instead of 2, 1 for each number that is like from 1 for the 0 for the 7. You see, I mean,
You've done really well to get. You've done really well to get such a large car as the Bentley in under 21 with as many LEDs in there as it's got. It's a real achievement, and obviously you spent quite a bit of time with the thinning of the shell. Yeah. That's quite a big body shell, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, I think where I wasted most of the time was with the bloody front grille. That was, like 3 times, man. I mean, it's too, anyway. Okay, sorry they took so long. I was trying to beat Wayne.
I was about to say, he's done very well to get that in under 50 minutes, hasn't he?
Yeah, that was fantastic. Yeah, that's going to be definitely time stamping that one for people.
Okay, I'm going to shut up now. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for that wonderful show and tell, Gio. I'm going to do one real quick, and then we'll get to Big Den. And apparently I can't share my browser, so I'm gonna have to go.
Me.
And you. Oh man, this is right above my dang. There we go. Okay, so I went ahead and printed the blue and yellow Glickenhaus. As you can see, Paul is getting one too, of course. I also printed.
The freaking house.
I printed the glass vac forming buck for Paul. I'm not going to do one, but he's going to do one, so I printed this up. This is printed in ABS, so it should be able to withstand the heat of the vac forming process. Then I went ahead and did some minor work on smoothing it out. So I did one pass of sanding, and then I used a technique called acetone vapor smoothing, which basically melts the ABS plastic to smooth it out. And if I had done more sanding and more vapor smoothing, it would be, even better. You can get basically glass smooth like this everywhere. I can't feel the lines that you see, but tomorrow was very clear in my post on Slot Forum that yes, those lines will appear in the vacuum formed glass. So Paul might decide to do some more sanding and coating and sanding and whatnot to get perfect glass. That's not something I will ever do.
Greg, I have just a quick question. So with this technique, the acetone vaporing, what's it called again?
Acetone vapor smoothing, and it only works for.
Okay. Yeah, so you cannot do this for a body, for a car.
If it's printed in the right material, you can, right? So the bodies that I printed are in PLA. That doesn't work for PLA. But if I were to print the same body with ABS, I could use this technique with that.
Okay. Thank you.
One of it's tricky though. I printed this 100% solid because the acetone vapor is basically melting the plastic, right? So if you go too aggressively, you're going to deform the body, right? Because you want the body to be thin, so you have to be very careful with it. Ideally, you warm up the acetone. So basically what I did is I got a glass jar, put some acetone in the bottom, and then set that on one of my 3D printers and use the heat bed of the printer to warm up the acetone in the jar. You could do it if you have a, heat something up and then set the glass jar on it, or if you have one of those mug warmer things for your coffee mug, you can use that. But it's way more effective when you warm it up. It works okay when it's not warm, but it takes a lot longer. When you warm up the acetone, it fills that jar with lots and lots of acetone vapor, and you can literally just put the part in, hold it on with with a needle nose. This is needle nose plier marks right there. And you can see it melt and turn shiny within seconds. So you basically want to just kind of do quickly, make sure you didn't screw everything up, turn it around, do it again on the opposite side, make sure you didn't screw that up, you know. But, you know, Tamar was like, oh, you need to sand it and fill it and coat it and sand it and fill it and coat it and all stuff like that. And nope, let Paul do that.
Can I see the body? Could I see the body again?
Okay, what was that? Two people.
I'm not bothering.
I'd like to see the body. I'd like to see the body again, if I may. Nice.
Yeah, and my question was whether was Tamar telling you what to do.
Well, that's nice, Greg. That print's nice, doesn't it?
It's an easy to print body. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it printed. I haven't started on it.
And I didn't go. I'm not a stickler for making it perfectly smooth, so I didn't even bother using thin layers. These are all 0.2 layers on this print.
Oh, okay.
So it looks even better if you do thinner layers, obviously.
Yep.
Even with thinner layers in this area, you just can't eliminate the steps because it's so almost flat that even with thin layers, you're going to see the steps there and on the nose and on the top of the roof and stuff. So I just said, you know, screw it. I'll just print it. You know, I'm not going to paint it anyways, so we'll see what
fun
car. Is.
Fun car.
It is a cool car. This would be cool if I had ABS in these colors. I might have tried that and see if I can vapor smooth it without ruining it, but it's risky.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Any other questions before I move on to my next piece of show and tell? Okay. So as I skipped to earlier, I finally went ahead and dug out the interior parts for this 1/24 Tamiya kit that one of my friends locally put together for me with a ScaleAuto chassis under it. And I'm, like you guys know, I don't go all out. So this is, the dude has a white face and a white helmet, and you know, the tricky part was that because of the mounting plates on the side of the body to hold the ScaleAuto chassis, I couldn't completely build the interior and then stick it in there because there was no way to get it past, you know, if I'd bent it out far enough, I'd have broken things and I didn't want to risk that. Maybe I wouldn't have broken it, but I went ahead and chopped part of the interior so that I could fit it in there and it wasn't, you know, pressing out on the chassis mounting plates. But that meant I had to do the interior in multiple parts. So I basically put the guy in his seat, and then I had to mount, because I couldn't use the side panels for the interior at all. I had to glue the console up into the body and make sure that it was in the right position. And then I had to finagle the rest of the interior with the driver and hope that his hands kind of went around the steering wheel. So I basically glued most of everything together, but left the arms unglued until the last second when I put the glue on the arms and then stuck it all in there, and then used a screwdriver through openings in the body and chassis to kind of position the arms nearer to the steering wheel. But hey, it turned out okay. I'm happy. And now the car has an interior, so it won't look completely ridiculous when I drive it for its parade laps around my car. So that's that. And
can you try the lexan interior? Don't they do lexan?
they probably do, but I'm not, you know, it's not going to be a race car. So I didn't feel the need to do a lightweight interior. And the Lexan would have looked even worse as just a solid hunk of black, because I would not have painted it. So, you know, anyways, yeah, it is what it is, and that's what it is. So Big Den's been patiently waiting. Are you ready to go, Big Den? All right, take it away.
Ready to go. Unlike Paul, I haven't finished anything. In fact, I've probably started another 7 projects that will take a long time to get finished. So I'll hit off with the share screen here. And hang on, just let me start again. I'll open one. Right. Back there and share. which one? Oh, start again. Okay, we up there?
Yep.
I've gone to the dark side under the influence of Darth Samson.
This is old dark side too.
Yeah, I've gone to metal, 1/24th, and sort of a semi-retro. These are JK chassis, as Dennis mentioned last week when I was talking about Scorpions. The Scorpion's quite a dated chassis, but one of the local dealers was having them at about half price, so I bought the JK Scorpion and a Cheetah number 11, number 7. I think they're up to about
7.
I think they're up to about 21 now, but the price was right. So and then there's a body, a clear body, an auto coast from one of the same dealers. Back to reality now, 30-second scale, and another dealer was having a 50% off on Ninco parts, and so I picked up this Ninco Audi R18 body, which I did a sort of an unlicensed version of the color scheme there, so just something to be a bit different. There's not many options in the R18, so I just went for this sandy sort of color and the maroon wings and fin, and there's just the front look at it. They're actually decals off a 24th scale set of decals I had, but they managed to fit on all right anyway. So yeah. The chassis also, Ninco chassis, Ninco Pro Race pod. And you'll notice there that I've actually, or you might notice in the next one, that I've given the chassis a bit of a spray as well, just to add a bit of, detail. For Wayne's information, I have absolutely no idea of how much weight that adds to it. But down here, most of us the time we're adding weight rather than reducing weight. That's just the nature of our tracks and things down here. So
am I the only one who gets nervous when a motor is named Sparker?
That's just set. That probably won't be the final incarnation of the thing, John, but it was just something I sat in there probably just for testing purposes. There's a couple of other points I wanted to add to Neil earlier on. I think it might have been before the chat started, before we were recording. He had I think it was a polycar rear end. Just make a point that Pendles in England, they do make a 3D printed front extensions, one adjustable one and one that gives a 72mm wheelbase. So they might be something, if he's making up a custom chassis for a body he's got, that might be something he could probably consider to just finish that car off. Also talking about the pods for the 050, the FFO 50 motors. Divas 3D used to make them. I'm not sure whether LEB Hobbies has still got any of them left, the inline FFO 50 pods, but that's the only place I can think of that you might get one, Neil. So worth thinking. Haven't got anywhere near breaking the record, so I'll hand over to the next lucky shooter. Looks like it's Jim, is it? Yeah.
All right, thanks, Big Dan. Yep, go ahead, Jim.
Good morning, everybody. When Dennis showed his GT3 car, I figured I'd do the same. We're starting our racing series this weekend at Motown, and we've just added a GT3 class. Rules are very similar to Electric Dreams. We don't allow ball bearings and hollow axles. Other than that, they're pretty close, I think. So I know Rick and Walt are coming up. I was hoping maybe Dennis would come up. I'm not sure. But this is my I've got a McLaren now that I've been racing for quite a while, so this is a new car that I just bought. It does have the flexible wing on it. I added that, which is extremely flexible compared to the NSR. It's a lot either flimsier or less rigid, or however you want to define that. And then we're allowing, you know, some significant modifications. So this is the way I've set the car up right now. We are running the axle tubes in the back. Motown is a super high bite track because it's spray glued. So I think anything we can do to stiffen the rear end will make the cars work a little bit better. We are running F1 wheels and tires, or allow that on the rear. There's been some pushback. A lot of people don't like it, but they do work on this track. And it also allows the track owner to carry one set of pre-mounts for both the GT3 and the F1 cars. So it's less inventory for him to stock. I'm running the red chassis, the hard chassis. Other than that, and the modifications that are obvious, the car's fairly stock. I guess if you want to call that fairly stock with all those modifications.
Jim, is that a solid rear axle?
It's an axle tube. So it's a piece of, it's very much like the Slotting Plus combi axle tubes, but this is a homemade one. So it's a piece of, I think it's 1/8 aluminum tubing put between the two bushings and then glued in place. So it's very.
What are your weights in front of your axle there? Are they steel or what are they made of?
Wait a minute. Say that. I didn't hear that.
The weights just in front of your axle. You've got some nice round little penny size.
Those are made by, Dennis may know who those are made by. They're 1/2 gram each. They're tungsten discs.
Oh yeah, Jim, I believe those are Professor Motor. Right?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, Professor Motor. They make different thicknesses.
They have
and these are the 1/2 gram.
Yeah, they have a 1/2 gram and a 1 gram. It's like a 2 millimeter and a 4 millimeter,
and
2.5 and 5 high. They fit into the NSR magnet pockets as well.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, they're really tight in the NSR, but yeah, that's kind of what they're made for. You can see a little bit of a dark area around them. So I actually use tungsten putty to install them. So they're probably more like almost 1 gram each. That's just where I'm starting. I like the wires on this car. I like the way they're routed. Unlike the NSR, on the NSR, you have to kind of silicone or glue them in to stay in the channels. But these are, if you want to call them 3D channels, but they capture the wire instead of just sitting in it, and you have to put adhesive in it. I forgot to put the one through the extra hole right there in the motor, so I've got to go back and do that. I'm starting with, you see right where the motor pod in the front, there's chassis stiffener points there where you can put screws and add a nut or one of the plastic caps on. So I'm starting, I guess you would call this, it's a stiff chassis to start with, and I'm kind of going medium stiff on the adjustment, or I don't know what you call those things, but that allows it to stiffen the chassis even more. Slot invasion guide. We are thinking about not banning, but we're thinking about, for Northern California, a length limit on the keel of the guide. So the Slotting Plus super long guides will not be allowed to run as is. You're going to have to cut them down. We're debating that right now. We're looking probably about 26 to 27 millimeters, which is about 1 millimeter or so longer than the longest guide that's currently on the market. Other than Carreras are long, but that's a whole different story. So that's kind of where this car was built. Super grips on the front, super grips on the back on NSR F1 wheels, narrowed from 13 millimeters to 11.5 millimeters. So they are F1 wheels. We do require inserts. I don't have them for the testing. In fact, after this chat is over, I'm headed down to Motown to test today. So we'll see how this car runs, see if it's any better or worse or whatever than my NSR McLaren. So hoping to see, so I know Rick and Walter coming up, and hoping to see some other people come up. We have a pretty good crowd for this first race of the year. We're also going to run our standard F1 class and Group C. So
Jim,
that's kind of a combination of a show and tell and Club Corner.
Jim,
yes.
Those stiffeners that you have, could you please share again, please?
It's a 1/8. I'm pretty sure it's 1/8 inch aluminum tubing cut to.
No, the aluminum. No. I mean, you have stiffeners on the pod, on the chassis, actually.
Oh, let me go back to screen share.
That's a screw and a nut. Is it a countersunk screw on the underside?
No, it's just like it's basically the same hole as the mounting for the motor pods. It's got a recess on the underneath, a countersink, and those are flathead screws on the bottom with 2mm nuts to capture them.
So why using the nuts and not the caps that come with the car?
Because I didn't get any caps that came with the car, for one, and the NSR caps
You
don't
guys
fit. I thought they came with them, but the chassis I got did not come with any. The
So
NSR caps.
It's not NSR. I mean, it should have like, the cars should come with these caps already that you can. So this does, but it's a white kit or it's
No, it was not a white kit. It's the Wins, the Wins livery. The kit that I got had none of that stuff with it. And I thought the caps came with the extra chassis, the hard chassis, but mine did not. So I just used the same nuts that I use on my NSR car. The NSR caps that you use for that don't fit. The hole's not big enough. You could easily enlarge them, but they didn't fit, and the nuts fit perfectly. So that's what I used.
On Pendle's
Jim,
site, they sell both of the hard kits. They sell one with all the extra buttons and stuff, and then one just the chassis.
Okay, I got it from Electric Dreams, and I didn't notice two different ones, so I just got it without it.
You should send
Jim,
it back
can you
to
put the
Electric
same
Dreams.
screw in? Can you put the same screw and nut in the other two holes further forward?
No, because wait, are you talking about the? Can you see my cursor?
Yes, those two. Yes.
Yeah, you could. I haven't yet. So I'm going to start here with what I'm considering medium stiffness as opposed to super stiff. It's a start. I've never been to this track with this car, so we'll have to wait and see.
Man,
also I'll know about 4:30. I'll let you know.
Those F1 tires, man, they look really bad on those cars.
I don't disagree with that. They work extremely well.
I don't care that you have to bring more. I mean, more stock. I mean, what the heck? I mean, anyway.
I don't disagree that they don't look good, but on the track we're running on with spray glue, they work well, and we know they work well. If we went to standard 16 or 17mm wheels, we'd have to test probably 5 or 6 different compounds of tires. So we're trying to keep it easy for everybody. And the concession is they don't look scale.
All right, thanks.
So there's reasons why we did it, other than the fact that they work. And again, this is a commercial raceway, and they sell parts, so they can keep one set of pre-mounted NSRs in stock for 2 different classes. So we thought about it a lot, and those are the reasons. And so anyway, thanks.
All right, thanks, Jim. And Dennis, are you ready for Club Corner already, or do you have another show and tell?
No, I just have a comment, and that's why my hand's up. After looking at all the work that Gio did on his Bentley, I took mine and just weighed the stock body. And considering that it's stock body, but it has very few decals on it, and basically only one coat of paint. The stock body is 25.5 grams. The way that it's done. So the amount of work that he did is quite enormous to get it down under 21 grams. It was, that's a lot of weight.
Well, do you have a vac form interior in yours?
No. No, just as a comparison.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just to show that's how much benefit you can get. You get 4 grams or nearly 5 grams that you've taken out of that.
Yeah, out of a high center of gravity.
Out of a high center of gravity item, yeah.
Yeah.
So just to show how well done that was.
Yeah, it's essentially anorexic.
Can I show and tell?
Let's do a giveaway, and then we'll come and have your show and tell. Okay. So give me a sec here. We're gonna give away
Proxxon.
We're gonna give away the Proxxon first. Give me a sec here. Okay, so we're on random.org, where I always go. We're going to randomize this list. We've got Gio and Sasha B and Stephen Montagani and Torque Mutant and Nigel Martin. These are the people who want to win the Proxxon. So as soon as I click on randomize, it's going to give us a reordering of the list. Person on the top of the list is the wiener. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Geo!
Hey,
I mean,
about to say
the
that's
list
unlikely
barely
to happen.
changed. That's what happens with such a short list. So, all
I
right.
was gonna say no freaking way that I'm gonna win it because I'm on the top.
You're already on the top. Random things are weird. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But you can see
It's a real
the
random.
order is different. You know, Sasha got kicked down to the bottom, and yeah. So, all right, we'll work that out later on. And
Well done, Gio.
We'll give away the other stuff also.
Thank
later.
you. So I can destroy more bodies now.
Yeah, and with better tools.
Exactly. So.
All right. So, like I said, we'll give away the other stuff further on in the chat. Krista, are you ready to share?
Yeah, I can do that. I work on Dennis and my car for competition in Germany. It's a Porsche 917 K from 1970. This is going to be very, very light. Now we talk 124. It's going to be under 20 grams clear.
Wow.
With everything in. And to go under that is carbon rear end.
That's awesome.
And a lot of things special as we use for racing. Chassis is from Ortman and Alex. It's Dennis and my name on it.
Wow.
And we are not going to be lost from it.
I'll do my best to ensure that.
Me too. So I work on that now.
Wow.
Somebody say something?
Cool.
Yeah, so the body that you have over there, right? That body from the car. What is the material that you're using? What's the starting point?
Glass fiber.
Say
It's
again.
Glass fiber body.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, like the fall. Okay,
Yeah, glass fiber.
Yeah.
Very, very light in the beginning.
Yeah. So this one is from Verks. I think it's the last one they did before they break up, Rudiger and Matthias. And you can go lighter too. I heard Dieter, the last race he did with his chassis and his body on the car, the body was under 15 grams.
Wow.
And you also show those struts in carbon fiber, I think you said. I mean, did you build it yourself or they come with the kit?
No, earlier I have a glass fiber body, a carbon body from Fula, but you don't get any faster with that. It's depending on what chassis you have, and between 20 grams for a 124 car is very good. And if you go below, okay, but we have a minimum weight on the body and the construction, and it's 45 grams. And you have to weight everything with
just for your information, when we make a 32 scale body shell in fiberglass, the numbers that we end up around for a raw body shell are in the 6-7 gram range.
Yeah. But this is a little larger.
Yeah, it's a lot larger, a lot longer, and a lot wider.
Yeah, so it is. We continue still working on the car, the Lola car.
Wow.
And it's going to be clear, hopefully tomorrow. Some parts need to glue on, and so I like it very much. My friend Rainer Wiesel drove this car in 1973 Le Mans, the year of
the real car.
What?
The real car.
Yes.
Oh,
the full
I
size
think
car.
it's the real car. Yes, the Bonnier car that he drove together with Joe Bonnier, 72. They tried to keep up the team 73, but they couldn't. And therefore he go to this team and drove the races. Dennis,
Yes,
I
sir.
show you this. This is the car is going down to you, Ellen.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Excellent.
test car
Thank you.
I have. And
right.
With the bird chassis and everything, I'm waiting now for tires from Dieter, because we have now 3 different shore on the tires.
Okay.
So I have to build 3 different glue and everything, and cutting on my hoodie and everything, so you can test.
All right, whenever it's ready.
I have another question for Christer about the markings that you have on the tires, like the good year and whatever. I mean, do you use the decals for that?
Yeah, decals, and I use some sealings.
Yeah, what kind of sealings do you use?
Oh Jesus, do we have them here now? I coming back from the north, from the mountain yesterday, so I have to see. I work up there too. I coming back.
While he's away, there's a body, another one of these bodies from this one from Lola as well. This hasn't been trimmed yet. It's a Sauber C9, Group C car, and that one weighs 11.2 grams. The way that it looks right now. 11.2.
Yeah, that's good.
Is that printed?
No, this is a glass fiber molding.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's glass fiber on the inside. It's had they put a gel coat of some sort into the mold, and then it's glass fiber reinforced inside.
Oh,
very thin, quite flexible.
What scale, Dennis?
1/24.
132. 124.
You see here, Dennis. If you look inside this body, it's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, and then there's the chassis that I've got for it that I haven't had a chance to work on yet. This thing's been lying. This is a Lola chassis, and this has been lying around here for I've probably had this for 2 or 3 years now that I just haven't got around to it yet. But I'll have to do that now because this will give me another car to practice running these types of cars, so that I don't disgrace myself or embarrass myself when I get to Germany with Christer later in the year.
No. We're old in the business, Dennis. You ask about the thing I used to the decals for the tires. It's from Works in Germany. You have different for foam and PU tires, also polyurethane tires. And they sell
and urethane tires.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody's phone is ringing.
Do you want to see any more cars?
No, that's good. Thank you.
I think we need to move on. We can certainly look at more of your cars after the recording, but we got we got 40 minutes left. Does anybody have any club corner they want to talk about? Now's the time to raise your virtual hand to make sure I call on you. And then after that, we'll do another giveaway, and then whatever needs to fill the time. Mike is putting his hand up. Go ahead, Mike, and then we'll get to Big Den. You're muted, Mike.
Thank you. We had our usual guys this week, and we did King of the Hill with my T-Bird, the 60 Thunderbird. Haven't got the video up yet, but it will be up soon. And I did well this week. I won 2 of them and was 2 feet behind for the third one. So I felt pretty good about that. Well, actually 3 of them if you count the King of the Hill. I got King of the Hill by 0.05 of a second.
Nice.
So It was.
Did the guys like that format of having a fun?
Yeah, they enjoyed that. Yeah, it's kind of unfair to the other Mike because he doesn't qualify well, and it's worth noting that he did the last race we did because we had 4 races this week. We did stock cars again. He had missed the stock cars the last time we had a Carrera NASCAR stock cars, and he went the entire 80 laps and never fell off, and he won by about about 10 inches, something like that. I fell off one more time than I should have, or I would have had him. But it was a real close and fun race. Everybody had a good time. So
awesome.
Okay, that's me.
All right, good stuff. Looking forward to those videos. Big Dan, you are next, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. I watch Mike's videos quite regularly. They're very, very entertaining. We're, pardon me, after about a 6-week break, we're back into racing in northern Tasmania this Friday night. The track has been moved from one shed on our host's property to another shed, and so it's a test and tune evening this Friday, just to make sure everything's gone back together the way it should have done. It's going to be a Revo slots fest with GT1, GT2, and the small sedans for those that have got them. So I'm not sure how many of the guys, and we look like we might have 7 or 8 turning up. Our indications so far, so that'll be good. Then next Tuesday, hopefully, if Phil will have me, I'll be heading down to Hobart. The Revo slot theme continues down there, with the GT2 class being the round 1 for the start of the year. The other class is slotted DTMs. I had the misfortune, I practiced the last time I was down in Hobart, and I thought that car's making a bit of noise. And when I got back home and had a look at it, the chassis had actually warped, and I used a different glue for putting the weight in, and it's actually eaten into the plastic, and so I'm going to need to get a new chassis for my DTM Mercedes. So
sorry to interrupt. Are you trying to do a share? You normally do a share.
No, I haven't got a share. I'm just
okay.
On the
just making sure.
Yeah, no pictures yet because there's been no activity. So. Yeah, so
What kind of glue was that melted your chassis then, Dan?
I think it was something called I used to use, I think, a contact cement called Quick Grip, and I couldn't get it last time. And I used something called Multi Grip, and it looks like it's been quite voracious attacking the plastic. So I'll just get a new chassis, for $10 or $12 or whatever, rather than try and straighten the other one. Yeah, so anyway, that's just what's coming up for me in the next week or so, and hopefully I won't be on the chat next week because I've got a podiatry appointment, but in a couple of weeks' time, hopefully some photos of activities. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you for sharing. And for my part, I posted a video of the Monday activities. We were at Pat's track, and he decided that it would be okay to run the other Glickenhaus print that I did, if only to see if it performed significantly differently on his routed track versus the plastic track that we did the previous week. It did okay. It still had 15 Shore. I think their F15 tires are their BRM brand, and I remember I dug them up we had used them a long time ago on something else. Anyways, it ran okay. I won that again by, I think, only 1,000th ahead of Pat. So he was right on my tail as far as King of the Hill goes. And then we had some fun running Reprotech Abarth. I forget the actual car, but those tiny little cars.
600.
Yeah. Not the Fiat, but not the 500, but the 600. Yeah. Fun little cars. They stop on a dime. So I basically had my brakes turned completely off to get as much coasting because they're such slow cars. You don't want to lose any of your momentum from braking. But he uses a dead strip, and so as the cars pass the dead strip, going full tilt down the main straight, you would see them kind of bog down real quick as they coasted over the dead strip. But those were fun as always. And then we did our Group 5 race. I did not fare so well in the Group 5 race because one of the guys was a little tail happy, and even though I was trying to be cautious and pick a good time to get around him or just not even bother trying to pass him, at one point he like slowed down. I have no idea why, but he slowed down enough that I ended up on his outside in a turn, and then I was off. And then the similar thing early on. So I lost a lot of laps from a couple of offs that weren't my fault. But I lost some laps for a couple of offs that were my fault. So it's racing. And the Nivea hand lotion is still doing a fantastic job on those ScaleAuto tires. At this point, I'm sold on using that for those tires from now on. Didn't lose grip, through the whole night.
Greg, why does the guy have the dead track?
It's a different type of lap counting. So what's called a dead strip is there's a short section of rail that is not powered by your controller. And so as the car passes over it, the motor becomes a generator and introduces a spike through the dead strip that the electronics then read as a lap. So there's other systems that use dead strips, but because these cars have such hard natural braking, like if you just lifted it off the track, the wheels would stop pretty much instantly because just the motor and gearing are such that it stops really quickly. So when it's not under power and the motor becomes a generator, it stops even more quickly. Like you hit the brakes as it's going over. Even the dead strip was only 4 inches, I think, maybe. But yeah, that's why that's there. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. And let's go ahead and I don't see any other hands. So we'll do another giveaway. And this time it's going to be for the Hakko. And we only have 3 contestants for the Hakko. So let me go back again and change the list. And now it's being stupid. Okay, so screen share again. Okay, so for this one, we've got Jim Rose wanting a nice new soldering iron. Richard Lang and Jeremy Belcher both are vying for this. So, boy, on this one, flip a coin is probably just about as good. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, randomize. And Jim
I was
wins.
on top again.
So let's see how many. So this is you're the official winner, but I'm going to click randomize again just to see how many clicks it takes for Jim to lose. Jim is still winning. There we go. So click it 3 times for Jim to not win, but you're still the winner. Don't you worry. So we'll talk about that some more later to make sure people get their prizes. Gio, I'll work with you and make sure you get a nice Proxxon rotary tool.
Jim, you need to play Lotto tonight.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Go buy a ticket, buddy. No, you just wasted all your luck on that. So, yeah, don't bother buying a ticket. Your luck is gone.
Twice, actually.
Twice, 3 times.
And tonight when he goes to test his car out.
Oh, yeah, you're going to have terrible performance of the car.
Am I getting 3 soldering irons?
All right, so that's been given away.
Solder it back together.
There you go. That's why your repair tool. Anywho, so we've got some more time. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about or ask about, or should we go to Krister? Krister's got his finger up. Go ahead, Krister, unmute yourself. You're still muted. Still muted. You're still muted. Still muted.
Can you unmute him?
I can't. I can only make a pop-up up here that asks him to unmute, and apparently he's not pushing it correct. There we go. Okay.
A race car from Pendeslot Racing 2006. a guy called Graham, I don't remember the last name of him, borrowed this car to me, and I get a second place after John Secchi from East London, I think. And Graham gave me this car after the race. We have a big battle, me and John.
Graham Walker or Graham Woodward?
Secchi, I think it was his name. He
John
drove.
John Secchi.
Yeah.
Yeah, North
Very
London.
good driver. Yeah, very good driver.
Yeah,
And
he
I
passed
still
away
have the car.
couple of years back.
Yeah, but what did you say? He,
John Secchi was he succumbed. He passed away from COVID in the early days of the pandemic.
Oh, sad to hear. I
Yeah,
didn't
he
know
was
this.
in hospital for something else completely, and he contracted COVID while he was there and never came out. Very sad.
He was very good driver.
Very
I
nice
have a
guy, good driver, good builder.
I have a hell to keep
Been
up
around
with
a
him.
long time.
Yeah. So I drove this car in Penderslot Racing, the old track, 2006 with copper tape. Very interesting track.
Yeah.
Where you're standing, you have a straight downward and a 90 degrees right, and it's very interesting when you race on the track when you go
When the car comes directly towards you.
Yeah, exactly. And the braking point is very interesting. Downhill. So it is. But I still have the car from Graham, and was a gift. The problem was when I was traveling to the race, Sean was coming to Manchester and get me up on the airport. Some terrorists the day before did something, tried to attack. And my suitcase disappeared the day after when I traveled over there with all cars, all parts and everything. So I have nothing when I come there. So I have to borrow cars, controller. Sean get me to a supermarket to get a toothpaste and a brush and everything. And it was very crazy. And I shared the room with a wheelie dealer for slot cars. What was the name? Do you remember, Dennis? I told you that. Yeah. Of the guy.
Phil Smith, maybe.
No, Phil Smith. Yeah.
Derek Cooper.
Phil Smith. I didn't know who he was, but we get along very good in the hotel room. So that my race international in Europe, one of them. From the old days.
All right, looks like we have some time. Gio, did you want to do your light kit demonstration?
There is Courtney that is would like to show something, I think.
Oh. Hey, Courtney, you want to show something?
Yeah, sorry, just real quick. I had to go out working, but I built this car. It was an accident, and then of course, as soon as I saw it, I knew that I had to share it. So this is a ProTrack aluminum hard body chassis. It's inline.
Very nice.
And I had some, and then this is what's this guy. It's called Caveman Bodies. All right, and this is not listed on his website, but I called him, and he happens to make a big tire LMP style car. So the body is lexan, but the wing and the fin are 3D printed. And I do love the Porsche 917 Sunoco. Mark Donahue is my favorite driver. I got to meet him when I was a kid. I was probably 6 or 7. Very cool. And then, of course, it turns out to be blue and yellow. So this is my homage to Greg Gaub.
Okay, so is it possible for me to get one of those from the guy? Like can I buy one?
Well, the decals are from the guy in Canada. What's that? Blue something, and And yeah, caveman bodies. I'll send you the link and I'll tell you what to order.
So you're
That
so
is
it came
very,
as blue and
very,
yellow,
very,
and
very, very nice.
it came as blue and yellow, and you just added the decals.
No. I painted it and built it and did the whole deal.
Okay.
It's clear. It's clear lexan.
That's
It is
24
clear.
scale.
Okay, so how much you want for it?
Well, I don't know. Give me. I'm trying to do another enduro race with these at the big commercial track. So maybe in July we can talk.
Okay, I'll remember.
But it's cool.
Are those original colors, or did you do those just because?
He did it accidentally, apparently.
Yeah, I had the decals, and 2 colors of paint looks nice, and it worked out. It just kind of flows with the body.
Is that a 124?
I've got copyright on that.
Very nice lexan body.
So anyhow,
that's awesome.
All right,
Greg, maybe you should randomize between you and Paul and see who gets the car.
Oh no, me and Paul will be in a bidding war for that in July.
Yeah, but does he know I get first dibs anyway because I've got copyright on Sunoco?
Oh.
Well, and you're down under, so it could get lost in the mail for like 8 years.
You can have that one, and I'll have him do a Bilstein one for me.
Oh,
nice. Yeah,
Trade Paul for a 3D print of something of his.
yeah. I'll print you something.
Yeah.
How about a brand new 3D printer?
In 2050.
Actually, I think Paul actually has a 3D printer to actually trade.
Yeah,
that's right.
Trade the printer.
Never been used.
All right, thank you very much for sharing that, Courtney. I love seeing that. And Gio, did you want to do your light kit demonstration?
Okay, so
I'm particularly interested to see his light board.
I don't think it's anything really special. I mean, so this light kit, basically, it's something that I usually build for my oxygen or digital racing. So in oxygen, basically, the chip already has a 3-pin outputs for the lights. So 1 pin, the black, is for neutral or common ground. Then the red pin is for lights that are on. So usually you use for everything that you want always on, like front lights, fog lights, or whatever, anything else you want. And then the yellow one is for brakes. So when in oxygen, for instance, as in analog, when you release the throttle, brakes are activated or released, or activated actually. So basically these you get power through the yellow wire or pin. So the connectors. Yeah.
You have no exhaust flames?
No, unfortunately not. Yeah, that's something that really pisses me off. I mean, only with the Z machine, I think you can get the exhaust.
No,
I'm working out. I know. Yeah. So yeah, it would be really nice if there would be more pins to use for different things. All right. I mean, yeah. But unfortunately, it's very primitive. I mean, one of the things that, okay, so I can keep talking about this, I mean, forever because, yeah. Anyway, so you have, so these connectors on the chip, at least for the B1, B2 kind of family of chips, they are JST, I think, with 1.25 pitch between the pins. So I buy these connectors from eBay. I think I should put a list of stuff of what I buy. So, and they come with this, in this order of wires. So there is the red, the black, the yellow. So the first things in order is to swap the wires, the yellow and the black, in order to have the same order as from the chip, just for color reference to be precise. And so basically you go with a very fine flat screwdriver. So you lift the pin or the socket, I mean the kind of a connectors piece of plastic that keeps the pin in place.
Yeah, it's called the tab.
Sorry, yes, tab. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. So tab, lift up, remove the pin, do it for the other one as well. And then if you press the tab back in, then you can bring the two connectors back. I mean, it seems like I'm teaching people how to suck eggs. So sorry if you already know all of these. I mean, I try to give a rundown for people that have never done anything like this. So it's very basics. So usually I do like a bunch together because it's very, kind of time consuming. You have to cut things. So if you do a bunch together, then you get to do the same option or action for a while. And so I use for the front lights, I use the 406 ohms kind of resistors. And for the back lights, I use, rear lights, I use a higher resistor, 97 ohms. And the idea is that basically the rear lights, I'm going to use them for both being as a rear lights. And when I brake, then there is more power comes through the yellow. There is power coming from the yellow wire, and I use that one in order to make them brighter, right? Like you have stop lights that are becoming, brighter. And that's why the rear resistor is a bit kind of has a higher ohms. So the first stuff is to try to put the two things together in order to start building like T-shape, because I want to have two outputs from my light kit, one that goes to the rear lights and one that goes for everything that is a front or needs to be fixed on all the time. So I started by putting this together, and then do you see my coaster if I move over?
Yeah.
Yep.
So okay, so then basically what's going to happen in the build is the following. So the red will be connected to these common, basically this one shared between the two resistors. So assuming that this one goes front, so there will be then the forward going to the front lights, and then this one will go to the rear lights. So remember, because this is a kind of a stronger resistor, basically there will be dimmer. The yellow wire, basically what we'll do is we'll bypass the resistor, we'll hook directly over here. So which means that when it will be on, there will be brake applied, then the rear lights will get the full voltage from the yellow field. So that's the main idea, and that's why they will shine brighter. And then start cutting the or trimming the connector. If you want to do light kits and stuff, installation, especially when you use very fine wires, get these wire strippers. I paid for this one, I only could get from RS in the UK. I think the bloody thing was £50, and I paid £90 to bring them in through DHL, because over here they would cost even more if I had to get them from the local. So this stuff, it's worth it, the amount of money that you pay for it. I think you can get much cheaper, especially in the US or whatever. So this stuff can go down to strip clean without messing up the wire, a 36 AWG, which is very, very fine. So this stuff basically helps me building the light kits and the light installation. I would be basically ruined if I didn't have that stuff. I would be really without hairs anymore. Anyway, so start building the cutting the wires that I need. So of course, because it's common black or common background, so I put together the wires for the common neutral. Cutting all the stuff that you need, the different shrink, and then start to basically kind of soldering up. So you have the red, as I say, goes into the middle. Then you can see here the yellow that bypass the resistor, and then starting kind of attaching the wires. And so basically you're building like a T, if you think about it. So one that goes for the front and one that goes for the back. And then anyway, I mean, it's just like putting the different bits together. These are the common wire together. And then the idea is that I'm using for connectors, I'm using these, I don't know if I call it like a motherboard type of pins. And I like them because they are very smooth in connecting and disconnecting. If I have to connect and disconnect the JST, because there is a bit of tab here, it's, you have to kind of pull, and it's pretty hard to pull pry them from the chip. You can mess it up things. Instead of with this one, if you have to remove the body and do some maintenance, it's a breeze, to be honest with you. So that's why I moved to this kind of stuff. I also use this one, for instance, if I want to have a quick connection between my chip and the rest of the car. So if I want to remove easily, I use this stuff as well. And basically, yeah, that's it. So, and this, okay, so the other thing is that, most of the time with, maybe I can stop sharing this one and I'll talk over it. So most of the time with a light kit, usually where they end up is on the body of the car, which basically adds weight. Instead of be looking at like some builds from Lola, and what Lola does, he builds all the light kits and the capacitor into the chassis, and they connect to the light on the body. So that's the same principle that I want to use over here. And when I installed them, let me bring up. So when I installed them, my light kit will stay with the chassis of the car. I can show you the combi again, for instance. Try to find the installation. And so basically, on the body, you only have the weight of the kit of the LEDs and the wires for connecting it. And
what do you do and glue them with?
Glue them?
No, in the body, or you want to use what do you use for glue?
Oh, yeah, I use I think it's called GS Hypo, I think.
Is it
GS
flexible?
Hypno. GS Hypo.
Yeah, GS Hypo, yeah. So that's kind of glue that I use actually for building all my bodies there, because it's I mean,
Very similar to a silicon sealant, isn't it, Gio?
Yeah, I mean, it's more like kind of what's called the shoe glue, kind of actually.
No,
So
flexible. It's flexible.
very flexible, yes. Also
Yeah,
cures transparent, so you can use it's transparent too, so you can use it, for instance, around the lenses and stuff like that. Because
Same
it's so flexible, it's very good, for even small details in the body, because
No,
even if
no,
they get,
it's
smashed.
same as I use.
Could be, yeah. And the other thing
Yeah.
is also, like, if you don't like or you want to change something, it's pretty easy to, I mean, you can remove completely and does not leave any trace behind. Just
that's correct.
So it's an excellent glue, and also the applicator is like a needle, so you can go and do very small things. I mean,
I've got a tube of it right here.
Yeah, so, and I buy them in bulk from AliExpress, also because the tubes that they come in are not too high quality, so they start to basically leaking glue like crazy. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
It's the same we used on Lexan body, Dennis.
Yeah, to put that pin back in that, to put the lid back on, you have to put the pin back in the tube, and it is absolutely hair thin. It's a real challenge just to get back in.
Oh, boo.
Yeah.
The flexible
Yeah,
we use.
I can see that
Like
Dennis
that,
has some
exactly like
problems.
that. Look, it's great.
Yeah, I have to use my magnifier for doing that. Anyway, I mean, nothing. I mean, so these are what I call Mark 1 type of light kit. I've been working on a Mark 2 because most of modern car, you have also the central. I don't know. I think it's called a center brake light. So the one that is in the middle. And I've been trying to recreate that, and I think I made, so basically you want that this light is only on when you have the brakes on, right? And the other two
you
lights
don't attach
have to
it with
be
the tail
on.
lights, do you?
Yeah, okay, yeah, but then it means more LEDs. It needs more wires. So I want to try to have like still the basic things that, you know, having like the same, I mean, using the rear lights as a rear lights and brake lights. So I have 2 lights installed and 1 central one for the rear brake light. So I kind of a version of that is sort of working with a diode basically, but it's not perfect. So I've been working with Dr. C. I mean, I don't know if some of you remember Clive. So, and we are coming up with something that is a bit more advanced than what I mean, I'm not an electronic guy. I mean, I understand positive, negative, ohms, and that's it. Anyway, again, I
That's
think
a very solid light kit, Gio.
It's again, I think it's not, I mean, okay, so the other thing, it's something that, you know, you can find, there is a lot of information already about the diesel, like using like a resistor and bypassing it. I mean, this stuff comes from Rich G, I think, someone from Slot Forums. They were taking this stuff from the original, or from one of the early version of the ScaleAuto chips. That basically, you know, you had to do some kind of complicated or fiddly soldering because you have to take from some of the inputs from the motherboard. They were not ready for that. Instead, I mean, with the slotted or the modern or the recent ScaleAuto chips, already you have all the pins ready to go, so which is much easier or simpler.
I think it looked like this wiring inside a car.
Yeah, something. I mean, you know, your wire is much neater than mine. I mean, you saw mine in the Bentley is a bloody spaghetti ball. Maybe because I'm Italian, you know, I like spaghetti. So
and then you get the motor like this.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw in fall, I've seen like he leaves even the capacitor. One of the things that I could do later on is extending this kit with the capacitors if I want to do like a use for disc racing, where you need to have a capacitor in order for lights to be on.
And the card you can put inside like this. Side. I don't know if you see it. You see what the cables come out from. So you don't get stuck.
Great panel in the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the left. Yeah.
I mean, I used to once, I started, you know, to try the Z machine kit. So with the wires coming from the motor.
Yeah.
And so I used that kind of connectors as well. And I don't remember what the heck I did. I think there was a bit of messed up, and I managed to to kind of damage one oxygen chip because I think one of the motor wires got entangled with the connectors from the Z machine connectors because it's all covered.
But I can't. They don't order. But I can think that in 132 they are very big in the body.
That's true. Yeah. And so basically, yeah. So I managed to repair that chip. So, but I said no more. I at least have to be more careful. I mean, because if something can go wrong, it will go wrong, and that's a kind of again lesson that I already know, but it's kind of sometimes you are just lazy and you want to collect things together. Anyway,
it's very much to do when you have to put the cables and everything into the body, and much to do. Yeah.
But I really the end result when you see all the lights coming up, I don't know, it's one of the nice things that when you put the car on the track, it looks really pretty. Yeah,
it's truly.
All right,
anyway, nothing fancy. Sorry if maybe it took too much time. And
no, that was perfect. So I think that was very informative. And yeah, if you want to give me actually I can go to your thread on Swap Forum. I believe you put your parts that you called out on those,
yes,
and all that stuff. I'll put that.
It's not on Slot Forum yet. I will do, because Malafama is asking. Another guy, the Spanish guy, is asking for those parts. So I think I need to make like shopping list or something.
Okay.
And I will put it on. Yeah, and then you can grab that copy and put on.
Yeah, I'll put a link to the Slot Forum thread. But we have a few minutes left, so let's give away the final prize, which is the H&B Test Bench from Henry. And the people who were going for that prize are Jeremy Allen, Dennis James, Courtney Smith, Scott McPhee, and DeJuan Clark. And we're going to randomize and see who wins. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Jeremy is going to win.
It's gonna be Jeremy. Yeah,
Wow, that's hilarious.
I never win anything.
Well, you did this time.
I feel like a winner. Thank goodness I was on the top of this list. My bribe went through to Greg perfectly.
Let's see how many it takes to get Jeremy off the top.
Jeremy, don't tell anybody how he did it.
I won't.
Same with Jim. Took 3 goes to get you off the top. That's hilarious.
Well, let's demonstrate that this stuff is not really random, isn't it?
No, randomized things are weird, and with such a short list, that's absolutely not surprising to me. For my son's statistical, math or whatever thing, one of the exercises a professor often does for college things like that is to have the students flip a coin and write down the results, and 100 times, right? And the professor always knows whether they did it for real or they just fudged the answers thinking that they're doing it for real, because an actual flipping of the coin, you're going to end up with heads, 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 tails, heads, 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 tails, 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 tails. When people write it down, they're going heads, heads, tails, heads, tails, 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 heads, heads, which is totally not how it actually happens in the real world. So yeah,
that's why we have the game craps.
And that's
when you roll it, you don't expect that rolling a 1 followed by a 1 is a 1 in 81 chance, but it happens way more than you think.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, well that's what Einstein said, right? God doesn't play with dice.
Yeah.
And that's how random things work, and that's why all 3 times the person at the top of the list won the prize.
We do that for lane choices in HO racing, but we roll a dice to see how many times we randomize.
So you roll first and then randomize that many times.
Yeah, if the dice comes up 3, the third one is the one we use.
You click, click, click. Yeah. Maybe next time when we have multiple prizes, I'll do that. How many times will I click the randomize button for the winner? Anyway, well, all the prizes have been figured out, and the winners have won, and we'll make sure that everybody gets their prize in a timely manner. And we're down to 2 minutes. Does anybody have any last minute things they want to add or ask in 2 minutes? Krister wants to show another car. Okay, go ahead.
Chaparral.
Very nice.
65. Sorry. I like him Hall. He was a very good.
That's the 2G. So that's 67, 68.
Yeah,
no, 67. Sorry. I like them. Yeah.
Very nice. And what was the body? Was it
Fane design? And Bear does it. As always.
Fine design.
Yeah, nice cars he designs.
Beautiful car.
Yeah, so it is. I love to race them on the track.
I wouldn't have bothered. I just buy one, put it away.
No shelf queens. They're meant
no shelf queens.
No, the 2 I want.
I race them.
They're all doomed.
Queens for me.
We also
just to buy 2, right? I mean, one is a shelf queen and the other race. That's what I do.
And then
Lisa, do you have a truck at your place?
I don't think you can.
Every car I build, I drive. So it is.
I do as well.
Very nice.
I think I don't ever, I build cars and I usually race them, and I'm okay with that. But
so we're at our 2-hour mark. We're going to keep chatting until next time. Everybody wave bye, and I'm going to hit the stop button. Here we go.